10 Men with Real Superpowers. The amazing and exciting tale of a superhero never gets old. Whether it's a cat getting stuck on a tree or an old grandma needing helping to cross a road, we all know there's that one guy that's always there to save the day. Today we're going to show you 10 men with real superpowers. Comic books and animations have often changed our imaginations of what a superhero should be. With the prominence of classic superheroes such as Superman from the DC franchise and Spider-Man from the Marvel Universe, both in comic and on the big screen, we tend not to believe that superheroes actually exist. But what if I told you we know some ordinary people with extraordinary powers? Without wasting any more time, here are your 10 men with real superpowers. Before we go on with the video, don't forget to hit that notification bell. Number 10, Samora. We start off with someone who has a superpower that isn't for the faint of heart. Oh no, this guy takes jaw-breaking into a new perspective. Although Tim Crinland does go by the name Samora, he is popularly known for his torturous and dangerous stunts where he skewers incredibly sharp and skin-piercing iron rods and metal blades into his mouth, and they all come out through his lower jaw to the outside of his chin. The craziest part of it is that he doesn't feel any pain whatsoever. No blood, no pain. Outstanding. Now you should know that even though he claims to do this by channeling pain away through a Zen-like method, many in the medical community believe a genetic alteration would have caused this absence of pain in him. Now this could come in handy in a fight. Number 9, John of God. Far, far away in Abadiana, Brazil, lives a man with powers the likes no one has ever fathomed before. But seriously guys, the man can perform psychic-like surgeries with his mere hands. João de Teixeira de Faria, also known as John of God, was born in 1942 with a burning desire to help people. As a result, he joined a local church at 16 and performed several healing miracles to its congregation. Although João claims he has no knowledge of this, news of his divine act spread like wildfire, and before he knew it, he became established as a renowned healer. Many across the globe have come to be healed by John of God, and many have testified that his power is a thing not to be messed with. Although so many have aired that he actually performs invisible surgeries without needing a pain reliever, someone has witnessed him removing a man's tumor from his stomach by just sticking his hand inside the mouth and removing it. A lot of people are highly skeptical of his work. Make no mistake though, John of God is a really cool name for a world-class healer. Number 8, Strong Boy. We all have this odd thirst for strength, particularly when we are toddlers. Little 10 or 12-year-olds always try to lift a table or even items as large as a freaking sofa to prove their resilient physical strength. As older people, we laugh at their attempts and comment on how cute they look doing it. Heck, we even know some teenage boys have tried to lift the heaviest of things to impress their crushes. However, we think they should step aside for the formidable Chris Morgan. While he was a teenager, he earned the title of Britain's strongest schoolboy in 2009. With a height of 6 feet, 280 pounds, it is rumored that Chris can lift large boulders and logs that weigh over 5 tons. His regular and strict exercise regime keeps him in tip-top shape and allows him to have amazing physical strength that can rival any human alive. All we can say this, don't mess with a man with a title that has strongest in it. Number 7, the boy who hears and sees all. Cancer is a terrible thing for anyone who gets it, and can affect our lives, no matter the type of cancer it is. However, for Ben Underwood, it didn't seem to faze him as much as others. He got eye cancer at a very young age, which made him blind. That didn't stop him from actually seeing, as he uses echolocation to see. For those of you that don't know that much about echolocation, it's a way of locating objects within a space by using reflected sounds. Bats and dolphins are the commonest of mammals to use this to navigate their way through the sky and sea, respectively. Now, before you guys call Ben a bat, he isn't. He is able to navigate his way around objects by tongue clicking. The fact he was blind didn't change anything for Ben. He could do everything his classmates could, with the exception of taking notes in Braille. He was able to teach himself how to skate, rollerblade, as well as do martial arts while using echolocation. Unfortunately, there is a reason why we have been talking about him in the past tense. He sadly passed away in January 2009 at the age of 16. Rest in peace, Ben. Number 6, Uber Boy. In what was sure to shock all Germans around the country, Uber Boy was born. Now, Uber Boy isn't your ordinary cute baby with the usual baby fat that makes him adorable. Uber Boy actually came out of his mother's womb ripped with well-built muscles. The reason for this unique physique was thanks to a genetic disorder which caused the absence of the myostatin gene, the gene that helps limit muscle development while at a tender age. Because of his identity has been kept a secret for a while now, most tabloids don't have much to go with on Uberboy. However, reports came out with the boy being able to lift 7 pounds comfortably with both arms, just at the age of 5. That's even difficult for an average adult nowadays. With his genetic development being closely monitored by the medical community, there is yet hope that in studying Uberboy's muscular development, they will be able to create therapies that would help muscular dystrophy patients, a noble cause that could prove to be life-saving. Number 5, the original Aquaman. People who can stay underwater for some time have incredibly structured lives. People who can swim underwater, though, just belong to the sea. Dave Mullins is one person you would think is actually a merman in a human body. The New Zealander is not only able to swim underwater for a long time, but also at a very far distance. In fact, on September 2007, he was able to break his own record as he swam underwater for over 4 minutes at a distance of 244 meters. Although he specializes in free diving, he was able to dive head-on at a depth of 108 meters without an oxygen tank or a specialized breathing equipment. He does explain about how heavily drained he is after swimming further and further, but this man's talent is a force to be reckoned with. Hey, maybe he can get us to the lost city of Atlantis. Number 4, Mr. Eats-All. We all wish we could have a fancy yet fearsome superpower like super speed, flight, strength, or laser vision. However, there are some superpowers that may sound dumb at first, but impressive when you get to understand it. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Michael Lotito, also known as Monsieur Mangatout, which translates to Mr. Eats-All. The French entertainer is popularly known for his consumption of non-consumable items, such as metal, iron, rubber, ceramic, glass, you name it. He probably has eaten whatever you could imagine uneatable. Although he accompanies all his eats with mineral oil, what makes everything so astonishing is his numerous feats. He once consumed an entire Cessna 150 airplane by eating it, piece by piece, for 2 years on the stretch. Now, for all you scientists out there that may get outraged from what we are reporting, Michael actually suffers from pica, a genetic disorder that gives the victim a persistent appetite for non-consumable items. However, Michael's remarkable abnormally thick stomach lining makes it increasingly possible to eat any metal or iron object and even drink toxic substances with no secondary harm. Number 3, Iceman. When you see a man running shirtless and without footwear, you would think he's pretty high or pretty drunk. However, we present you Wim Hof. He is able to run at extremely cold temperatures. Recently, he ran a half marathon, 200 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle, in a temperature of minus 20 degrees Celsius. He ran for over 5 hours without a shirt or shoes. That's almost suicidal. But it didn't affect the man in the slightest. Wim says he practices tumo, an approach that allows a person to control his temperature no matter the external factor, which is said to be mastered only by Tibetan yoga monks. If you think that's impressive, you should take a look at his other accomplishments. He climbed Kilimanjaro with only shorts in just 2 days. He even broke his own record, held in the longest ice bath, by staying in ice for 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 8 seconds. Now that's what we call ice cool. Enough with the puns? Number 2, Mr. Flextastic. Some people take the word flexible to new heights. Although we associate people are flexible with people into gymnastics and ballet, we fail to remember the few that are just damn flexible. If any of you aren't familiar with the name Javier Botet, then there is a possibility that you may have seen his work in horror films such as the Spanish horror spectacle, Mama, the 2017 remake of The Mummy, as well as 2018's Slender Man. If you watch clips of his work in Mama, you could almost feel the bones bending as he sets himself in almost ungodly poses. He suffers from Marfan syndrome, a genetic disorder that affects connective tissues and usually associated with people with unusually tall heights, lengthy limbs, and fingers. Although severe cases can be life-threatening, mild symptoms don't usually lead to that, and people tend to live normal, healthy lives with it. Number 1, Mr. Endurable. When you're talking about endurance, we credit people for withstanding a rainstorm or even surviving a devastating heat wave. But have you ever seen endurance to the point that you don't even need to break a sweat? Well, you should meet Iro Montatra. The Olympic skiing champion is known for his incredible feats on the frosty surface. But it did all come to a stop when he tested positive for hormone doping, making him the first Finnish sportsman to be caught. Although we think he actually didn't need to thanks to his genes. Iro has a mutation in the erythropoietin receptors gene, which ultimately allowed his bloodstream to have 50% more oxygen. Considering it's a trait that is common within his extended family, it is no surprise that he was able to be as successful as he was. The extra oxygen levels allow him to endure in extreme situations, especially in snowy temperatures bordering around the -10 degrees Celsius mark. Whenever he crosses the finish line, he always puts on a nice, cool smile. Love your suggestions? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can give you awesome content like this.